For those who do not know who I am, my name is Scott Wilson, and I am a proud member and the president of the Connecticut Citizens Defense League. And it is an honor. Thank you. It is an honor and privilege for the last just over 3 years to have been able to work with some founding members and some other members and try to build an organization that will live on in the state of Connecticut far beyond my tenure and hopefully far beyond theirs as well. We would like a gun organization that we can all be proud of and that will live on for generations to come. I want to do this now. I want to state some thank yous that acknowledge the help that we've had along the way. From some of our members right now that are on our executive board, I'd like to acknowledge Vice President Lenny Benedetto, Secretary Kevin Gordon, our Treasurer John Bidler, other executive members Chris Lemos, Cheryl Lemos, Virginia Benedetto, Bennett Prescott, who could not be here today, Robert Chambers, James Kaiser, and a past executive member who's stepped back up to help us recently, Nick Holland. I'd also like to acknowledge our Second Amendment Rally Coordinator, Eric Sudarsky. Thank you very much for your help. I also want to pay a couple extra special acknowledgments right now. One is to Jonathan Hardy, who's a CCDL member. He also runs ctpistolpermitissues.com. Did I get that right? And if anybody's having any problems in the state of Connecticut regarding their pistol permits or applications, ctpistolpermitissues.com. He does this freely of his own will and insane mind. So,
and they still gave me a permit.
They still, yeah. We also have another CCDL member who's been helping out the last couple of years with legislative support, who we're hoping also, aside from Jonathan, will be stepping up into an even greater role in the future. She is not here yet, stuck in traffic. Her name is Amy Siegel. I hope to remember to thank her later when she comes here. I would also like to thank Mike Aaron, Judy Aaron, the Oath Keepers. I would like to thank Mike Butler for running our sound. Incredible DJ. And though they're not here today, I would like to thank Hoffman's Gun Center. They allowed us to station members and volunteers here the last couple of weeks to promote our rally. He is the guy that has stood out in the state of Connecticut. Wilcott Landowners has hosted a lot of our events. I'd like to thank them as well. And anybody else along the way. If I have forgotten anybody, Palin Smith, who's here today taping. If I have forgotten anybody, my apologies. Our rights are endowed by our creators. Our rights are natural rights. They are affirmed by our Constitution. With that in mind, over the last 3 years, CCDL has stepped up to a state that has had year after year one little anti-gun law being passed after another, year after year after year. I sat back and I watched things come in and I kept saying to myself, what are they going to do to us now? And I kept watching the news, and I kept saying, that's what they've done to us now. And on it went, little by little, year after year. What happened was, when we had all met, the original founders and myself, we decided that we wanted to try to do something to change the state. There was a gentleman here a couple of years ago who, for the past 33 years, give or take, had been probably doing the best he could in the state of Connecticut, and I'm sure he probably still does the very best he does. But every year, they keep adding more and more legislation that is not friendly to gun owners. And we, as individuals, have stood up and stepped up and built this organization to try to stop some of the things. We've done a lot of other things too, such as tackle some of the ordinances that are out there that towns try to impose on its citizens. There's a gentleman here today that's going to be speaking on a policy change that happened in his town the town is Woodbridge, and he's attempting to open up a gun shop there. There's a hearing coming up May 7th, and he will be here today to ask for support from gun owners to show up and just stand and show support. He was ambushed by some people from his town when it was just basically a policy change of sorts for them to be able to allow him to open up his business. And they've put the brakes on that since. I personally I live in the city of New London, and there's an ordinance on the books there that's been on there for a very long time. And I've gotten flack from it from some of the people at the city police department in New London about information we have in our brochure. Is that legal? They contacted me and requested that we remove it from our brochure because they keep getting phone calls from gun owners, want to know what's up with that ordinance. And I explained to them that we would be happy to remove it from our brochure as soon as the ordinance is changed. I've been working with the town council to try to have that put on the agenda, and it's on the agenda, and it's just a matter of having it raised. We try to do other events as well, other things as well. We try to host some events. We are a gun rights organization. However, we also try to have some fun things to create a community of gun owners in the state of Connecticut. For the past several years now, we've hosted a dinner, an annual dinner. Our members are welcome to show up, any members. It's a long ride from across the state. Fortunately, we live in a state that's geographical borders are relatively small compared to some of the other states. So it's not too much to ask. You who are here, if you want to come, like you are here today, to jump in your car and come join us for dinner one night. We've heard some amazing things today as far as some of the candidates for office and seated legislators and other activists stand here and speak with regards to the Second Amendment and how there are nefarious forces within both our state, our country, and the world that seek to curtail our rights as individuals. We stand up to that. We stand for something today. And I know it's cold, and I know it's a little bit breezy. I think I said the same thing a couple of years ago, because it was then too. But it doesn't matter. We believe in our rights, and we believe in our liberties. And we as an organization, CCDL, will stand here and do everything that we can to grow, improve, and help us defend our Second Amendment rights both in this state and in this country. So, Eric, I want to thank you for handling all your duties over there. If there are gun owners here today that are not members of our organization, our membership is free. Our website is www.ccdl.us. If you join online, you'll get an email back from Eric over here, and you'll be kept up on what our organization is doing. Our candidates that were here today, there are many more. We are working to try to identify them so we can point to you as individuals, as gun owners, to be able to seek them out and find who they are and offer your support. I remember hearing one time a wise person said to me, God can move mountains, but bring a shovel. And whether or not anybody believes in God as an almighty superior being, think of your natural rights, your rights that we were born with. And we must do everything we can to protect and defend them together. So I would like to thank everybody here today for showing up and offering your support. And again, as I said earlier, I'm a proud member of the Connecticut Citizens Defense League. So thank you all. And that's it.